Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you are brand new. Welcome back if you're not. Welcome home if that feels right for you. Let's talk about the astrology and tarot of this week. This week being the 28th of August through the 3rd of September. As always, we'll go through the astrology first and then the tarot. So we start this week off with a Capricorn moon, early in the morning sextiling Neptune and then conjuncting Pluto. The moon will move into Aquarius, and then that Aquarius moon is going to trine Mars and quincunx the sun. And then Uranus joins the retrograde season party at 9:39 p.m. Central Time on Monday at 23 degrees Taurus. So this is kind of a jump start to the week, right? These are big, high energies rolling in with an option for, right, always your option, an option for clarity and some really powerful insights. Maybe even a peek or two behind the curtains, right? So however that feels for you, whatever that looks like, make sure that you're paying attention, right? Make sure that you're in awareness of those aha moments that always accompany any kind of big Uranus energy, right? All of your authenticity and individuality, is waiting, right? And it's waiting to come to light. So make sure that you are paying attention and giving it the airtime that it's due, right? And as the day ends, when Uranus goes retrograde, this is really going to allow you to kind of have some inner insights, right? Those aha moments with your own either patterns or your own self-regulation or your own soul. So just be on board with that. On Tuesday, the 29th, the Aquarius moon will oppose retrograding Venus, and it's going to square both Jupiter and Uranus and sextile Chiron and quincunx Mercury. So that's a lot of retrograde motion for a little Aquarius moon, right? So this day is about independence and freedom and authenticity. Wow, yeah, this page of swords. Independence, freedom, authenticity, and authentic expression, right? This is all really important. In the midst of retrograde season especially, these are all kind of hard won because they rely on action, and in retrograde season our actions are mostly internal, and yet these are the key energies right now. So contemplate your patterns, right? Contemplate your allowances surrounding all of those concepts, right? And really witness where you're holding on or where you're willing to release, even if that releasing means that any and everything new is waiting for you, right? The key here is that that's what retrograde season is all about. It's all about really creating situations where we are in the position to be in motion once that retrograde season ends. So this is when you do that internal work so that when all of the planets are out of retrograde, you have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak, to move forward in the best way possible, right? On Wednesday, the 30th, we start the day off with a Pisces moon, and then that Pisces moon is going to quincunx Mars and conjunct Saturn before retrograding Mercury retrograde, of course, is going to quincunx Chiron. And then at 8:36 p.m. we have that blue moon, right? We talked about last time. This is our Pisces full moon at 7 degrees Pisces. So that's very exciting. So keep your cards close to the vest today, right? That might be your instinct. It might be your gut reaction. Okay, sure. Sometimes those impulses are best honored without overanalyzing it, right? If you feel like that's what you want to do and how you want to move through the world, go ahead and allow that, right? Don't pick it apart. Absolutely. This this full moon is in the heart of retrograde season, right? So as that full moon is shining, it's really going to give you a wider allowance of a much deeper field of vision, right? This is what full moons do. They illuminate what is working or what is not so that we can be in gratitude and adjust our progress. This particular full moon is going to be very bright, so make use of the very watery illumination, and invite that as a widening of your story, right? With your heart and soul very, very activated here. So lose any stories that aren't current, right? And lose any story that hasn't been washed clean of the old. So, hello, thank you. More Emperor, okay. Yeah, be really clear in the here, in the now, and also be mindful of how you're creating routines that support that highest expression of your new, healed story. And be aware of what that feels like to you. That's really critical. On Thursday, the 31st, that Pisces moon is going to quincunx Venus, sextile Jupiter, oppose Mercury, and then sextile Uranus. So your heart may elude full expression, right? So let that be okay. Your own experiences of love, hello, thank you, regardless of, hold on just a moment, please. Sorry, regardless of how or who or what is absolutely enough, right? That experience of love is enough. You don't always have to speak it out loud. The depth of your awareness is always a little bit outside and beyond the descriptors that our mere language can allow you. So let your transcendent heart lead and see where you end up without trying to over-explain or over-analyze or overwork that. Right? Feelings are feelings and language is language. And sometimes we cannot combine them appropriately. Just let that be okay. Sometimes your experience, it's perfect. On Friday, the 1st of September, that Pisces moon is going to conjunct Neptune and then sextile Pluto before moving into Aries very early in the morning on Friday. That Aries moon is going to oppose Mars, and then Mars is going to quincunx Saturn before the moon quincunxes the sun. So here's the deal. Mind your dream time. When you wake up, pay attention to your messages. Send a little gratitude to those messengers, right? They're doing hard work for you. Feelings of kind of a necessary action, hello, might prompt you to kind of be in motion today. That's okay. So err on the side of your relationships. Mind that you are not putting yourself so far ahead that you damage your future peace, right? I'm not a big fan of linear time. But sometimes when you're in the moment, you have to pay attention to what you're doing to a relationship in the now. So if what you're doing in the now, you know, is going to put something in jeopardy, think 2 minutes ahead, right? Think 2 minutes ahead. Sometimes you can stave off disaster if you just make sure that you're saying, oh, is this, right? Right. With that Libra Mars, paying attention is how you can stave off any really unanticipated or unwanted consequences to your relationships. On Saturday, the 2nd of September, the Aries moon will trine Venus, quincunx Mercury, and conjunct Chiron. So this is really a heart-driven day, perhaps a little bit bittersweet. Nostalgia kind of seems to be a strong theme, maybe hanging over the day like a veil. There are opportunities to claim your story in a big way. And whether you do that as a story of loss and regret, or a story of opportunity about lessons and victory, right? Somewhere between the two lies your truth. And the key here is all of those stories are true, right? A story about loss and regret can be an opportunity, the same story about lessons and victory. And a story about lessons and victory can absolutely be a story about loss and regret, right? Sometimes those are the same thing. In fact, I think they always are. It's just about how we stand in relation to, right? The theory of spiritual relativity, as the case may be. On Sunday the 3rd, the Aries moon will square Pluto early-ish in the morning, and then the moon moves into Taurus. That Taurus moon is going to sextile Saturn, quincunx Mars, and then Venus moves direct at 8:20 p.m. Central Time at 12 degrees Leo. So, right, that's a bonus, an easing of the wheels up suspension of this retrograde season. So on Sunday, really alchemy is going to lead the charge. The soul gold is the doing today, right? So focus on the ways that you can create your deepest sense of home. And we know that that sense of home, as always, is the way that you experience home. What it tastes like, smells like, looks like, feels like for you and only you, right? You're the only person that can make those determinations. So it is up to you 100% to make them for yourself. And then let your reality flow from it, right? This is the way that works. So in its own way, in its own time, right? And as Venus moves direct, remember that the renewed manifestation of all of those things around and about and as home will be renewed, right? Rededicated, redevoted, and really allow you to begin the process of integrating all the lessons that you have learned as a result of this Venus retrograde. Yeah. And really, the key here is going to be to put your energy toward that rededication and redevotion to yourself as your sacred space, right? Your physical vessel as your sacred temple, and the space around you as your absolute sacred temple space, right? So whatever upgrades you've been planning to your routine, to your physical body, to your physical space, all of those things, it's going to be time to begin to put those into motion, right? We'll talk about that as we get there. So let's begin our conversation. So we've got the 5 of Cups and the 6 of Swords. So the 5 of Cups is always about how we're looking backward. Right, we talked about a couple of points of nostalgia this week, a couple of places where we want to look back, and this is really important to start this week of Venus moving direct. At the end of this week, let's begin the process of being ready for that now, right? So the 5 of Cups, we have 3 spilled cups, but we always have 2 that are full. So where are we not looking? What are we not taking stock of? How are we focusing on what is in the past as opposed to facing forward and understanding that here in the present is where we create our future? Well, we have the 6 of Cups or the 6 of Swords in support of that here. This is a card of transition, right? This is a card of moving away from emotional turbulence to an area of emotional stability, right? So creating through your ideas, right? Because swords are always about ideas, through your beliefs, your thoughts, your ideas, a new space, right, where we're not perhaps focusing on the past. And so we're talking about, you know, those peeks behind the curtains. You might come upon some new information that allows you to move forward, especially as Uranus goes retrograde. You might have an aha moment that literally shifts your entire focus and allows you to let go of something that's been holding you down. And generally there's a beautiful element of facilitation in the Six of Swords. So pay attention to the people in the world around you. That idea can come from anywhere, right? It can be as random as a sign you read on the street or a commercial that you hear on the radio. Who knows? But pay attention, because something will be offered, especially as retrograde, as Uranus moves retrograde, to allow you to find that golden nugget, that aha in there. So just be on the lookout, be on your guard, and just pay attention to your surroundings, because something will be coming in for you. On Tuesday, we have the Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. So the Knight of Cups is motion around an emotion. Motion around an emotion. Okay. And the Six of Pentacles is a card of balance. This is the minor representation of the Justice card. So this is a card that allows you to be in reciprocity, right? The give and take. I am fully resourced, and so I may share. This is literally receiving in one hand and giving with another. So this is a charitable kind of humanitarian card with a big heart, right? And so this Knight of Cups, this is movement on that big heart. And we talked about this as a day where we're contemplating our patterns and allowances as we are surrounding ourselves with the concepts of independence and freedom and authentic expression. What are we holding on to, or what are we willing to release, right? Even if releasing, that means that any and everything new is waiting, to pour into your waiting hands. Well, guess what? If you know that no matter what you're going to release, something equal or better is coming directly as a result, not even as a result, but it is already present in your field. So releasing a thing never loses for you. It only, amplifies what you're giving. So give freely and let go of whatever it is that you don't need anymore, understanding that the balance is always there for you, right? These scales always work because you're the one holding them. You're the fulcrum upon which those scales move. So there's nothing that you can ever be lacking because you are the actor and the action, right? So allow that action to be heart-driven, right? You know you have full cups. Share them. Share them. Wednesday the 30th, we have the Page of Swords and the Three of Wands. The Page of Swords is literally everywhere in our astrology right now. This is all about new ideas. Because we've had so much Uranus aspecting, this doesn't surprise me at all. It's just such a reflection of how divination works and why. So Page of Swords is brand new information coming toward you, right? This is a reflection of this Six of Swords from Monday. So how are you open to your new awarenesses? And what do they mean for your long-term plans, right? So this is our day of that Pisces full moon, where we talked about really perhaps keeping your cards close to your breast is absolutely fine. And also really being into that bigger, wider field of vision, right? Page of Swords wants to take in as much information as possible, right? This is a great student energy. This is great paying attention energy, right? Your awarenesses are super heightened. Even as Mercury is in retrograde, right? That's fine. But we're going to widen our field of vision, right? And we're going to allow all of those things to illuminate our story. And then we're going to make sure that anything that hasn't been cleansed of the old, right, is going to be allowed to move out, right? Standard Three of Wands is he's looking for his ship, right, that's coming in from the horizon, because he knows that he's already planted that, and whatever it is, it's in motion. It's coming toward him already. So it's simply a matter of allowing that to come in, right? And so we already know, right, swords are, of course, that's fire energy. So this is always in alignment with what sets our passions on fire, right? So how do we gain information about the way that we're creating? Well, pay attention. It's coming. On Thursday, we've got the Hanged Man and the Two of Cups. Wow, isn't that lovely energy, right? This is perspective shift and divine blessings and allowing for divine timing and really witnessing all of those shifts and changes as required, and a willingness to, you know, really be in it. And so as we've got that moon sextiling Uranus retrograde, like, you know, think about it. Uranus is the side spinning planet, right? Uranus's axis is 90 degrees off, right? It doesn't move in the same way any of the other planets in our solar system do. And so when we think about the Hanged Man, that's a beautiful analogy. And then we have this Two of Cups. This is divine love, right? This is blessed union. This is cooperation at the highest level. And so if we're really allowing that to lead us, right? We talked about this as your own experience of love is absolutely enough. And really witnessing that sometimes language isn't necessary. Well, guess what? Change your perspective on that. If you don't have to speak it out loud, you know, to demonstrate that you have that shared bond with someone, you have plenty of options. It's okay. Your transcendence isn't bound by what you say. Your transcendence is bound by how deeply you can feel it. So let that be enough. Because guess what? It is. On Friday, we have the Six of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Six of Wands is victory. This is achievement. This is recognition for your achievements. And the Three of Pentacles is about collaboration. This is about how we share information, how we are involved in that process of give and take, right? So here we are a bestower. Here we are in reciprocity. And so if we're talking about shared victories, that's lovely, right? When we talked about erring on the side of our relationships, right? And perhaps making sure that we don't put ourselves so far ahead that we're damaging our relationships. Well, guess what? This says, yeah, just mind your collaboration, mind your cooperation, because that's where your victory is. It's shared victory. It's never just your victory, right? You can be proud of your accomplishments, but you celebrate together. So if you're mindful of the community aspect, right? Community with another, with unity, that does not imply an individual kind of thing. So just be mindful of the way that you are creating your story in order to be able to share everything as your own and belonging to the rest of the world as well. That's the whole point of my highest good and the highest good of all, right? On Saturday, we've got the Emperor and the Seven of Pentacles. So the Emperor is a little bit reserved, right? A little bit held back, a little bit in watcher mode, the observer. And then we've got the Seven of Pentacles. I have planted and I'm waiting, right? I'm trusting divine timing. And so this is our day where we talked a little bit about nostalgia. And having an opportunity to really witness the way that we're telling our story, whether it's a story of loss and regret, whether it's a story of lesson and victory. Guess what? Yes, it is. It is. It's a story of lesson. It's a story of loss. It's a story of regret. It's all of the above, because all of those are things that get planted, and what we do when we tend them, what we do as we cultivate those things and create our overarching narrative, is that we're giving water, we're giving fuel to any of those places. Guess what? You can tell a story of loss. That's a beautiful story of overcoming, right? You can tell a story of victory that's tragic. Absolutely. You can do all of those things. So just be mindful. Again, it's all about perspective. On Sunday, the 5th, we have the Four of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Lovely. Four of Wands is bliss. This is the 1111 card. This is the soulmate card. If you're a person who believes in soulmates, I personally believe that we have many, many, many soulmates. over lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And then we have the Queen of Cups, right? She's the only closed cup, so she has no fear of spilling. So she is a fearless feeler, right? She is fierce in her embodiment and experiencing of every aspect of her emotional self. So we're talking about this as a day of alchemy, a day of finding your soul's gold within your doingness, right? This Four of Wands is about motion. It's about doing. It's about being in celebration of every aspect of life, whether it's mundane or extraordinary. It doesn't matter. The ordinary is just as worthy of celebration as the magnificent, right? Every single moment is joy and bliss. Again, we talked about it. It's about how we process that story, right? Because we know that loss and victory can be a story of lesson and loss and regret. They're all the same. So we're just amplifying that feeling and really focusing on the ways that we can create our deepest sense of home, right, in our soul, and then allow our reality to flow from that, right? If we know that our cup is safe, our heart is safe, because we're always in charge of it, then all we have to do is be in expression of that. As Venus goes direct, we have the Four of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Of course we do. This is about renewing our sense of dedication and devotion to ourselves, right? Creation of yourself as your sacred temple, right? Your heart evidenced wandering through the earth. Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got all day, every day. And here's the thing. This is ordinary miracles. All day, every day. What are you doing? All day, every day. What are you experiencing? All day, every day. How are you expressing? Guess what? It matters. It absolutely matters. Yeah. Remember we talked about not wanting to create that future, right? To not put something out into the future, because everything is, all our power is in the here and the now. Well, that's true. However, sometimes we're bound to our whole timeline, not just a segment. Even though we can only experience it as a segment, we have to be mindful of the entire arc of our learning and lessons. Here we have the air, right? Unseen potential and hesitation. Let's get that message. The crown sits on a pedestal full of waiting potential. Years of preparing for a role have led to this moment. The crown is power. It is fulfillment. But it is also responsibility that will affect every part of the heir's future. The heir has known that this day will come, and yet it feels like a lifetime of learning could never have prepared them for stepping into this role. The weight of expectation is a heavy mantle, but there's no turning back from it now. The end of every journey signals the beginning of a new one. Yep. And it's natural to feel uncertain about this new path in front of you. You may be hesitating, but trust that you've already laid the foundation to make this opportunity the most beneficial that it can be. The rewards that will come from this moment of uncertainty are worth it, right? So again, we talk about being in shift, being in transition, being in change, right? Where are we? All day, every day, we're shifting and changing. Your potential is found in this moment, in this now. So, don't be afraid to witness it, especially at this full moon, guys. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for listening. Please hit the subscribe button. Come back. We will talk about this full moon in more depth. Other than that, be blessed and just stay in the story, right? It's your story. You're writing it all day, every day. Use all your potential. Take care, guys.